This is Beyond the 45, brought to you by talkSPORT Ireland.
Well, we're back. Lee Keegan, Mugsy, you didn't do a runner on me just yet?
No, not yet.
No?
Not yet.
He's saving it for his marathon. Let the people know. Big marathon coming up. The back is fine. He's good for good for road.
Torture me at the minute. Hate it.
Need to get a bit of a diphene. Are you on that?
Tramadol. I'm on Tramadol. I'm on Voltrol cream.
Trauma.
It's just sore, very sore.
Can I ask you? I never taught you for a running man. You know, corner forwards, I always look at the... yeah, you're on about the tackle and work rate for Tyrone, and I look at you and think...
True, yeah.
You know...
I'm more cycling, but obviously you can't take the bike onto the field, so...
we try.
I like, the crack yourself, Lee. I like the riding.
Couldn't resist.
Sorry.
Listen, for anyone... this is definitely saying... we are... for anyone listening on Spotify... they will not be able to see what Lee Keegan's wearing. Lee's in a 1978 French jersey.
World Cup jersey.
Love it. Love it.
Since I was a daddy, I said, you know what, retro jerseys is my name of the game. And because I sweat carrying kids, it's just easier. So.
Looks good, man.
Well, he left us. That's got me thinking then as well. We were sort of saying off camera, you must have some great collection of jerseys, the two of you.
Few, but then I stopped collecting them.
Why? Cluttering?
Well, like, I started thinking, right, at the start of your career, you think this is great. I'm going to get this jersey, that jersey. Who will I ask for this time? It's like running to Messi in soccer night. Yeah. So I got a lovely collection to start. Tipperary, Donegal, Cork, you name it. Got the Kerry away one, thought it was cool. But I said 16, I said, you know what, they're not even collector's items. You never wear them again.
No.
You're not in college. It's not Donegal shoes in Galway. It's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So like... I started appreciating the jerseys I wore because I said, like, it's a short career, so why not keep them? And I could pull them out then when we had the kids and show, like, I wore number 3 or 4 or 5. I have a couple of ripped ones from Connolly. One was actually a Tyrone man. One had to be cut off me. They gave it back to me.
Who's that now?
We played a league game. Nulty, I think. Big pork McNulty.
Yes.
He cut me in two. They had cut the jersey. They cut jersey. He did me show. I said for 12 weeks, but have that jersey.
I'll get
it back. Don't worry. But no. I just said, it'd be lovely maybe when I do retire, have a nice collector's item of Mayo jerseys that when I did play, like my All Ireland ones, Connacht final ones, just look back and say, geez, they're great to have, aren't they?
Mugsy, do you have a fair few? Any Armagh ones?
No.
Francie Bell.
No, we didn't even swap. Who had Mort's, Conor Mort's jersey, a couple of Derry ones. I think of Kevin McGuckin's, maybe. Niall McCusker's always used to have big battles with Niall. Who else? Jerseys, Dublin. I have Cluxton's jersey.
Oh, nice. I'll swap you.
No way.
The French one.
I've that up in the bar, actually.
That's a nice jersey, haven't I?
I went to him after one of the games and we swapped, which is I thought a big Cluxton fan now. That's one of probably the best.
Yeah.
I have a cool one actually. Nick Rewald, AFL.
Very good.
Oh right, yeah.
We had the Aussie rules.
Yeah.
So we were in 15. We had a home tour, and we always do this kind of dinner 2 or 3 nights out from it. And we were sitting beside him, and he said, "Do you know what, kiddo? I want your jersey on Saturday night." And I was like, "You can have anything you want."
You're taking my boxers.
I've got to where you played each other. I said, "Do you know what?" And you know what? I swear to the day, he came up to me after the game and said, "Here, there's the jersey."
Fair play.
So soft jersey.
Fair play.
Thought it was a cool touch, and like big name in AFL, like. So that's one jersey I love to have. Like, I would have liked a couple of lads, but I'd be nervous to ask them. But
what happened from a fan's perspective? You swap that jersey. Do you have to replace that? Kitman, is he on to you?
No.
Depends on the game. No. What time of year it is.
It's championship, so you
So you wouldn't be doing it in the league.
No.
Job, yeah.
Couple has tried it before.
Big time. I tried it before now, so fucking you have to go into the change.
You have to go in after
with the tail between your legs.
Yeah.
That
that jersey
would be
back.
awful.
Have that jersey back there.
Did you have to do that? Little waddled in.
Yeah, but you don't think sometimes, even a league final, that you think, this says league final on it, and they'll be like, we need that back. You're like, sure, it says league final on it, so what's the big deal?
When are you going to be wearing that? Yeah.
So you come out with the tongue like this. Jesus.
So as soon as you get to provincials even?
French finals, yeah. Once there's a bit of writing on it, they tend to be right, like, Joe.
Championship. It's championship. It's championship.
Right,
first round, whatever it is.
Because I'd always wondered, and I was like, surely the lads aren't forking out 70 quid there. Tony is for another.
But sure, we're forking out time for them, so they should
True.
be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, it's a jersey.
Yeah.
Like, they're sponsors. Do you know
As
what
you say, I think it was the younger days you were mad on the jersey,
Yeah.
minors and
Yeah.
seniors, or minors and under-21s, and then you were going up the street washing them and going up the street the next day.
Yeah, like I remember getting a call from Paddy's Bar,
Ah.
like they want a jersey, like stuff like that's cool. And I had a jersey there because I kept so many of them. I said, just there. Now I think it's beside the toilet, but I don't mind that.
It's still in there, yeah.
No, but like it's cool. It's, you go down to Paddy O'Shea's pub and your jersey's there with a photo and stuff like that. So it's cool, like, you know.
You brought up the international rules. The two of you were looking up. You did did you do an away tour?
I did away.
He attended.
Yeah.
He attended. He was.
I misbehaved big time.
Okay.
Oh my god. My best
What year?
mate,
2005?
2005. My best mate's over there, and we hadn't seen each other in what, maybe 10 years. So 2005, obviously we had won the All Ireland. Armagh was there, and we beat Kerry in the final.
That's right.
So we were late to the trials, and it was Pete McGrath was managing. Pete McGrath, County Down legend.
Quiet man.
Quiet, but he thought, there was that much rivalry with Tyrone and Kerry as well, so they thought we wouldn't mix. He got that totally wrong.
He makes two tight.
he got that totally wrong. Introduced to Tomas O'Shea, a couple of jars with him, the Gooch.
Great lads.
Great lads.
Great lads.
Unbelievable. Fellas, and we misbehaved big time. Like, I think after the first game, I said at the back of the bus, that's me, I'm retiring from international duty.
No.
Had you played a test game by then?
I had played 10 minutes.
Okay, right. So you had the first test done.
I'd played 10
Yeah,
minutes, and look, I couldn't take it serious, right? And it's no disrespect till the actual the whole setup, but I held Brian Wigan in that high esteem that I looked over one time and there he wasn't even togged out. He was holding a water bottle for somebody, and I just thought to myself, if this man can't get on an international rule setup,
Best player of Irish players.
best player. He was probably one of the best players in 2005, and he's not even togged out. Sitting, and as the camera goes to him, and he's sitting like this on the side of the pitch, and I'm saying to myself,
Sunbird.
it was just crazy. So
Travesty.
we the Tyrone and Kerry boys mixed too well, probably.
Well, I wouldn't have expected that. Now that's a great story, though.
But good, they're good.
But
lads.
that's the thing with these rivalries. It's all pitch. Like you said something there. Like you didn't know one of the Armagh players.
No,
personally.
Oh no, we didn't know them.
Yeah.
There's your point. So you went away.
Yep.
Sound as boys ever make. Like
Look,
two sound.
Well, put it like this. I got a phone call from Aaron Kieran there. I think it's a year now coming up now. He said, Mugsy, what's the crack? How you going? I said, not too bad. He says, you wouldn't come up. They're doing it. This is your life for Francie Bellew. And I was like, are you fucking serious? I said, across McLean, I was going, are you serious? He said, look, it'd be great for you to come up. I said, jeez, man, I don't know if this would work. Like, we hadn't spoke.
Yeah.
We hadn't spoke, but look, no further from the truth.
Great night.
Brilliant night. It was a brilliant night. Few stories been told, and then Francie comes out and then sees me there. Hugs and kisses, whatever it was, but we told some great stories. Like, it was a great night. It was a great night up in Crossmaglen Club.
We'll have to get him on.
Oh, look, he doesn't say that much.
You dragged something out.
But it's what he says will be important.
It was a brilliant night. It was a brilliant night up there.
Lee, did you do a tour in Australia, or did you only do home ones?
No, we did 2 home, 1 away. I find it funny as well. Like my first experience was 13, and it was the week after we lost to Dublin. So we were on the beer till Thursday, and they wanted us in Friday up in Dublin. So 4 of us went up, myself, Kevin Gloughlan, Colin Boyle, and Aidan O'Shea. So 3 of us landed early. We're the first ones there on the Friday. Now I wasn't driving, geez, thank God. I was steamed and I was making off away. But who was the first 4 people in the door? The 4 dubs. McCaffrey, who else was there? Cluxton was there, was he?
Brogan, no?
Brogan, and there was someone else. Kilkenny, I think. Jeez, lads, the tension.
Oh, really?
The tension.
Are you serious?
I just think there was because the game was so bananas the week before, and I think the fact the drink hadn't really wore off, you're like, oh Jesus, this is a disaster. Anyway,
small talk central.
Small talk, and then I think you know yourself. It's the kind of you don't know what they're going to be like. And the fact they just beaten an All-Ireland final, you're like, you fuckers, like, the last people I'm going to be seeing today. And so they're 100%. And then, so that year was good. We actually played the Aborigine Australian team.
In
Croke Park.
Yeah,
so actually first test
was Hyden, wasn't it?
First Hyden and Cavan, and then we played them Croke Park and we tanked them to fair like. So 14 we went out there, but like you had 3 tests, didn't you?
Aye.
We'd only one test. So we
it's a one-off game.
Yeah. So
we had Perth.
Melbourne and a city. Like, it was a big job, yeah.
We went to Melbourne for 5 days. Played like a VFL game, a tune-up game, and then we played in Suncorp Stadium, I think it was, in Perth, and then they beat us by 6 or 7. Good night after, like that. Like
do you mix with them, or is it just?
We all went out then that night. Yeah. I found myself veering towards Neil McGee. So
Right,
Big
yeah.
Neil, yeah, we'd go crack.
Sound.
Drink some stuff.
Oh, he can.
Jesus. And Darren Hughes, good lad. Yeah. Shawnee was there as well, actually. Shawnee Camp.
Yeah,
he was working out and running around the city. He was still training away like Joe, mad. But then in 15, the last one we did, actually I was vice captain in 15. Bernard was captain, but I'll never forget it. Conley was brought in, and fucking Darren Hughes, he walked in, we had a meeting, and next thing Darren Hughes goes, look at this, lads, we're all best of friends.
Straight to the point.
I walked out, I said, you're some fucking idiot. But like that, no, I have to say, like, it's funny, you kick lumps out of these boys from pillar to post all year. You get in the room with them, you have a couple of pints with them, and they are the soundest bunch of lads you've
We
been
were
to.
actually calling for each other in the rooms, like knocking the door. You coming out here?
Yeah.
Like young lads.
He called Big Brosnan from Kerry. Great lad. Great lad.
Actually, I do have a good story from Melbourne.
Likes the crack. Good banter.
Myself, Colin Boyle, and James McCarthy were out one night. And myself and James got a bit aggro with each other. I started telling him I was better ring back than they were.
As you do.
And he was telling me, no, I'm better. And Lord and behold, we had each other in the headlock. The boy behind us was like, this is too easy. He was better.
Yeah, so who to settle on that one?
We both say he stood over me, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
But good crack, good memories, like that, like if you're on All-Star trips or you know AFL trips or whatever, Aussie Rules trips or nights out in general, you meet them out in the Mayo, you end up being drawn to them, you do. Have a good old chat with them, and the crack is 90, isn't it? Like, Joe, so
I'd love to see it brought back. I loved it growing up watching it. Now I went to a few in Croke Park, probably was around 2006ish, and now there was Hydens on the pitch. Remember there was a dog on at one stage, and there was
Three caught it.
Did you?
No, I was against Dublin.
Oh, was it Dublin? Sorry.
Dublin.
But do you remember that was when it would literally ball would just be thrown in?
Jason Ackermanis and Canavan on the right, and then I remember Anthony Toll was playing on them. That was a real ding dong affair, like too. They were out of order, like the Aussies, like they were.
That was just an excuse to fight, though. That wasn't it?
It was killing match.
It was like UFC, Joe.
Yeah. It was. That's what it was like. Clothesline, real danger stuff like.
But that's what got the viewership, though. People.
But it's not coming back. It is coming back.
Is it coming back?
So they've met since. The representatives have met to bring it back. So
great. I'd love to see it now. I know it is partly.
I'd love to be manager.
There we go.
That's the way. It's the right way leg.
Poor Joyce and Darragh Shea were our selectors. You never see them Saturday morning. we always did a skill session Saturday morning. 2 boys were never there.
Mugsy, now's your chance. There you go. Put it in for.
But we as players loved it, like.
Yeah.
Because it was a great way to bond with other lads. And Joe, I know the crack was good too, but you seen how different lads set up, what their regime is like, their training, how they look after themselves to a degree. Now, there's great crack, don't get me wrong, but like you see what different personalities like too, and how they set up as well. Like, so it was great to have conversations with high level lads that are doing
I shared with Brian Dewar. So that he says it was the worst 3 weeks of his life. He says it was the worst sharing to me. He says he couldn't wait to get fucking home. He couldn't wait to get home. I told the story. I think it was one of the dudes who went to. He says, how did you get the injury? So Dewar used to do your laundry. He's a pure parent, like.
He did yours too?
Oh, everything. He did. He threw this in here.
Jeez, you've got a treat there, didn't you?
So I pulled the hamstring because I got mixed up with his knickers. They're too tight on me. But no, he says it was the worst 3 weeks of his life. The wheels come completely off. Like the wheels come completely off.
But you went home with the group, though, did you?
No, I stayed an extra 2 weeks.
Did you?
In Sydney.
As planned, was it?
It wasn't. But the mates there.
Yeah.
So
thing as well, though, I find your off season as well. you're away from the big year county, like, so.
Yeah, when was it though? Is it autumn time?
So it was was it not?
November.
It was 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after the Ireland finals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, yes.
October, November,
like.
yeah.
It was, aye.
So there's, like, especially the old school regime, I used to find when you're off season, that is it.
Aye.
I'm going to take my downtime, I'm having a crack.
all in, right?
Yeah. So you were probably the same, even going out there, you thought this is a
big thing.
great opportunity,
Big
like,
thing.
Joe. So
it was some trip.
yeah.
And also on the other side, like it's something when you're growing up, probably playing football, you never think you'll represent the country side of things as well. And wear an Irish jersey must have been like you still are at a big stage, doing that.
I was probably I loved the Aussie rules. I was out in Australia quite a few times when I was younger. Stayed working holidays and stuff. Loved Brisbane Lions and loved Sydney Swans and all that sort of crack. So I went to a right few games out there. But
Were you ever approached?
A wee bit of a trial years ago for.
Imagine with the Factor 4 baby out on the beach.
Crisp
and
the
like,
blonde
yeah.
hair. It would have went well. Now, Brisbane Lions, I went on a bit of a trial. Didn't make it now, but so at 17 when I was out there. So they came and watched me.
Good experience though.
It was good. It was good, and took me into the change room and I seen them warming up and all. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, but I didn't make it.
Lee, you must have been
No, God, no.
approached, no?
I was shite underage.
But from you look at
Too old
Oisin Mullins and
Yeah,
was
see,
there ever a
they were prodigies through their underage. I was a late bloomer altogether, like, because I was so I would have played Connacht underage rugby, like.
would you?
So
Yeah.
I wasn't built for AFL, like, I wasn't the tall, big, broad, good looking lad like Joe. I was a scrawny little.
Where'd you play in the rugby?
Fullback.
Fullback.
Yeah. So I played there for years, but see, the problem was I didn't really play minor at Mayo, and I had no interest, like. And then 21s, I'd give it a bit of a shot, and then.
Fuck, I thought you played minor.
Oh God, no! Well, I trained with them, but I didn't make the panel. And to be honest,
So you weren't starting minor.
never played a minor game. No. Played 2 years, 21s, but I wasn't serious about it. So like I would never been touted then for AFL, like Joe.
Is that the way the lads are? Like, are they nearly picked?
Oh, from underage up.
I didn't even know. I thought it was a former senior level.
If you're making it like at senior level, like you're going to be young at senior level, like Joe. Like someone at 23, 24, and I would be lucky enough. Like Oisin Mulligan was only 20, 21 when he was scouted, like, so.
Right.
He was given another year with us that year at the All Ireland, like, so he was meant to go out that year.
Oh, so he gave that.
Yeah.
And then
They give it to him, so.
Glass played for
Glass.
Glass Macará stood out for them, and then
That's right, he went in after.
and then shortly after that he went. So he did great.
And I'll be honest, I had no interest either.
I was going to say, I thought you might have liked it with the physicality and the speed. I'd feel like.
Yeah, it was never a game I even looked at, even from like I didn't even know there's such thing as scouts, even watching Gaelic footballers then, Joe. So never really something that of any appeal to me, or like.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with rugby. I was just rugby. I loved it, like, Joe.
When that switch?
When I finished 21, someone said to me, and it makes no sense, it still doesn't, but it did eventually. He said to me, "Do you want to play in front of thousands with rugby? Or 100, sorry, or do you want to play in 100,000s with Gaelic?" And I said, "Sure, you get paid for rugby, though." He goes, "You'd be surprised." So he said,
Right.
"You'll make a better career at football. Not from a money point of view or anything, but he said you'll make a bigger career out of it than you would rugby."
You must have had a good enough academy there in that Connacht. A few lads who went on to play.
We had a brilliant underage. We won the first Interpros under 18 with Connacht, so we beat Leinster in the final.
And that crop who won that Pro 12 years ago, there must have been a few on.
Would you believe there was only maybe one or two? There wasn't many that went through. A lot of them played at a high level club like Buccaneers, Galwegians, Corinthians.
Yeah.
Probably not a huge. Dennis Buckley might have been on the panel that time, prop now for Connacht. But I remember like Nigel Carlin now, he's high up now, but he would have been our coach, like Joe, and I would have met him a few years later. To be honest, like the gym kind of stuff and the setup really stood to me then when I got to a higher level of football, because I had been exposed to it with rugby already, so it was good lessons for me. But the players were getting too big. Like I was looking at some of their necks, and I was like,
And the ears going. Yeah.
but like the collisions were catastrophic. Like, and I was thinking, like, and they're bad enough in Gaelic. Like, don't get me wrong, but the game was just brutal. Like, and I just felt I would have got more in my career with football, like more longevity. So I'm delighted to pick that decision. So
Yeah, it was the right decision. Mugsy, do you ever have any other sports?
Soccer?
You good footballer?
No.
No.
Played in the Milk Cup with Tyrone, but no, I couldn't drop a bag of cement, to be fair. I was poor enough at it. I was actually sweeper in when I was playing soccer. I wasn't a striker, like, so I was sweeper, or else centre midfield. But it was more just up and heading and stuff, and reading the game. But no, it wasn't.
Soccer is big in your area, though. Like
it is.
Night,
it is. There's a couple of, like, from where I'm from, Cookstown. We had Stuart Dallas, Leeds.
Oh yeah, serious player. Yeah,
great player. He broke the leg there.
Yeah, awful. She had to retire after that, didn't he? Yeah.
So we've, you still see this murals of him around Cookstown. So no, we're following him. But soccer's big. It's sort of a mixed area, Cookstown. So you've got and then you've like the likes of Dungan Swifts near us and stuff. So
Niall Morgan plays, doesn't he?
So no, it's I like the soccer. I love watching it, but I loved playing it, but I was just okay at it.
Liverpool fan.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
You?
Yes.
Same.
Yeah.
And Joe also is. Bubbles and Conor Mack. We got the 5 of us.
Jeez, we'll have to get over
to the coffee.
We'll have to get over to the coffee.
Is it based in the UK?
The higher powers be listening. Yeah. I want to go back to. So obviously you were chatting about Connacht underage, focusing on GAA, being a late bloomer. When did you find that switch in yourself that you were like, geez, I'm miles better than I was 2 or 3? So you said 21, 22 when you actually started to feel you nearly
Horan brought me in when I was 21, and he gave me the 2 opportunities late in 11. So 12 came then, and he started playing me cornerback, and I was thinking, I'm not sure about this. Like, cornerbacks, it's the dungeon. Like, there's not much you can do there. Like,
cornerbacks, like you're somebody's bitch. Like,
yeah,
you are like I don't understand why somebody would want to be a cornerback. Like, you're just following a man around, and he's got the run of the field. Like.
You want to be, there's something a bit mad about them, like, like they're not. But but I think then in Armagh, we played Armagh in the league game, and I got man of the match at wing back, and I think that was the time that I realised, actually there's good opportunity. And Horan, one thing about him, he started trusting me more and more to mark better players, not the best players, because I'm still relatively young. So I think that the penny dropped big time when we played down in the quarterfinal, and he put me on Mark Boland.
Good player.
Yeah. Good player, lads, I tell you. Hard, but very skillful, and I did a right good job on him in the quarterfinal. Now we hammered them, don't get me wrong, but it was a good lesson for me of what top exposure was. Real good top players, and I did a good job that day. And after that, then I just found, take the Dublin 12 game out of it, because that was just a different experience. But in terms of then marking the best, I always trust my own ability that I could do it. But the thing with Horan as well, the early days, and then managers, they kind of follow through, like, is that, okay, you do your job defensively, but you have free license to go and do what you want. Don't just track him. You go forward as much as you can. You play the game any way you want, and you just play with the freedom and abandonment. And the thing, I was very lucky. I was very relaxed, so I'd sleep all night for games. No one to talk to me for a game, because sure, I had nothing to talk about.
Right.
I was given a job. Just do your job, enjoy it, have fun, and go home after. That was the way I looked at the game. Like, so I looked at it very simplistically. Some guys would be nearly doing a maths degree, trying to do an analysis. So there was a two-way thing. They never worried about me from a performance point of view, but I became very relaxed and comfortable then as the years went by with the game. So definitely with Horan, he gave me that kind of that confidence early on in my career. Definitely.
Mugsy, your first encounter at senior and first encounter with Mickey Hart. Do you remember? Did you always know Mickey? Like, what was he like? He gave you did you play your entire county career with Mickey?
No, Art McCrory and Eugene McKenna brought me in.
Right, okay.
But Mickey brought me in the minor days when I was 15. I was brought in, God rest him, for Paul McGuire. Do you remember the accident happened against Armagh? So Paul McGuire had died, and then 3 weeks later, we had played Mickey's team, Argyll Kieran, in a club championship. And at that time you could play, you're not allowed to play now when you're 15, but at that time you could play, and had a good game against Argyll. I was marking, I think, one of the better players. I was full forward, so I got the phone call, and there's no mobile phones those days, so I don't know where I was at, but my mother, I think it was probably over in the mates playing football, and my mother phoned me, says, "You come over here, Mickey Hart's just rang," and I was like, "No, he hasn't." He says, "Mickey Hart's just rang you."
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
15. At 15.
Yeah. So I phoned him back, and he's like, "Yeah, you're kind of going to go up with Brian O'Neill, and you come up to training on Tuesday night. You've been selected to go into the minor team." So that year we got to It was another tragic circumstances. Big Hub Hughes.
That's right.
I think brother was killed in the semi-final.
What accident was that?
Car accident. It was a car accident. And we played Kerry and a drawn game in Croke Park, and then we played them again in Parnell Park. And then we got to the final, and that great Laois team beat us with Bino McDonald and all.
That's right, yes, because he beat Mayo the year after, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right, that's right. And so that was my first encounter with Mickey, and then we just went the whole way up from till what, age 32, and then he gave me the chop. Yeah.
What kind of a manager is he? And what did you like? Are you an arm around the shoulder, or do you like to be told when you're not at it?
He does both. He'll do both, but sometimes, like everybody says, his man-to-man management was brilliant, but I know players, I know myself, like he maybe wouldn't talk to you for a month, and this was maybe on the bench when you were in the when he dropped you. That was it. He'd say hello to you, how you doing, but he just blank you. He just would blank you, and I know other players, and you're kind of like walking past him as if you know to get his attention. Not blank you, just, and then till he needs you, he'd pull you in. I thought it was strange. Everybody said, "Oh, great man management," but it is different ways of managing. But as a manager, he's the best manager I've ever played under. You know, and I tried to hate him. I tried to hate Mickey, and I've said this before in different articles and interviews. I tried to hate him, but you can't hate somebody you've so much respect for.
Yeah.
You just can't. It's impossible. Now, see when you're dropped, and it's the first couple of years. It's very hard to go to Tyrone games. You actually fall out with a love of Tyrone, like, and that shouldn't be never the case. But as I said, out of respect for the family and out of respect for, what he's done for Tyrone, and I found it very hard to like. Probably you're trying to hate him, but I just couldn't.
The problem you had is he trusted you as an early age to do.
Oh, he did.
Look, that's hard to forget. Like,
to be fair, he let me off. Like, you lived like, I remember 2003. You were like a monk. No drink bans, You stuck to them. But see, as the later years went on, you started to break the rules. And I got away with some stuff. Like, I got away with some stuff, and he put you on. And I'd say that. It comes to a breaking point where he's probably sick of the run after, and all our players are probably in his ear saying, this fucker here is
I'm dedicating my life.
And it's not like in 2008 I was a complete cancer of the team. I was I was fucking breaking drink bans. I was bringing players with me. I wasn't getting on, and sure, who cares, like, and it should never be the case. But that taught me a lesson.
Do you think you were tough to handle then at times from the managerial point?
Absolutely.
Corner forward, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's I loved the crack. I loved the banter, to be fair.
Yeah.
I loved getting out, like, and I hated going to a match, playing a match and
not going out.
I fucking hated it. I hated that's where all the banter was. That's where you went out, you bonded with all the lads. Like, we won a game on a Sunday night. Like, we're going on the bender Sunday after the game, and we're going Monday night as well. And then we're gonna go on Tuesday. We're going to train and run the drink out of us, but we're going to go for 5 pints after it on the Tuesday night, and then that's you. I don't think there was nothing wrong with that. I honestly don't, because you were that fit them days, right? And then you went to your training on the Thursday, and that was you to the next game. So that was you hadn't maybe drunk in 4 weeks. So your body's went 4 weeks without drink. So Sunday you're going on the bender,
wasted away,
and you had to live life. And I think maybe at the minute it's just got so professional.
You were lucky though. Social media wasn't.
I was about to say,
yes. I totally agree with you.
It wasn't a toxic photo.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Like, some of the things we were at was crazy. Like,
no, but my point is, you had that freedom.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden
you never even had that at all.
We nothing like
no. It's all camera phones.
Camera like
camera phones. It is.
Every knows we are at the same.
We were like Jared Cavan opened the bar there, the Bailey and Nungyan. Fuck me. It was carnage after every match. It was great memories. Great.
We were lucky enough to start. Like say 11, 12, maybe a bit in 13. You could get 2 or 3 days out of it. I was like you. I loved the crack. Like I loved having a big game. really looking forward to the night out and the day session after. But that's the crack you have, like, Joe. And that's where you get to meet a couple of boys that you don't maybe talk to too often during training, or you know, and then you realise, geez, I love this lad.
The crack.
But it is for the wider benefit then as well.
Of course it is, yeah. But like that has spilled over a few times now. But I know Rachi wasn't too pleased once or twice.
Look, it spills over. Like it definitely did spill over a few times. But
what's your best GA night out after? Is there a 2003 celebration? Is there one that sticks out for you that was, Jesus Christ, that was mental?
The Tyrone nights were brilliant. The All Ireland nights were brilliant. They were class, but I think the Cookstown nights, we won the All Ireland. Cookstown, we had always the talent there. We were always a brilliant club team. We went up and down senior level, senior intermediate, like a yo-yo. We were known as yo-yo club. I hated that because I knew with the players there. But you need 15 to 15 starters, 20, 22 of a group. We had 10 fellas that were so committed, but the rest of 5 just were, I'm going to play soccer this week, I'm going to play golf this week. I just thought that was shite. You know, instead of saying, right, we're in senior football now, let's give it a lash. But with a great minor team, under 21 team. But that year, I think it was 2014, Chris Lawn came in. He had just retired maybe a year before, so it was a bit of work to get him in. It was his first job, but nobody would ever have thought, like,
that's some run for his first year.
Would never won like a senior championship. Would never won like an intermediate championship. You know, to do that, first to win Tyrone, then to win Ulster, then to go to the All Ireland was.
Who'd you beat in the final of Ulster?
Oh Jesus!
I know you beat in the final.
Warren Point, I think.
Oh yeah,
right.
Warren Point of Down was the first one, I think.
And then you went in, and
then we played Spa in the final.
Did you play Galvin Club? Oh, that was the next one.
That was the next one 2 years later.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
We played Spa in the final, but this is how mad the Cookstown boys were. The final, one of the Ulster finals was near October, so it was Halloween. So we all went to the fancy dress shop and dressed up on the rip. We went in the bender, like, so we all dressed up as shepherds or policemen, whatever it was. But this was we can't stop here at the Ulster final. So we did it again in the semi-final.
Oh yeah,
and then we did it again in the final. Like, there's photographs. Some of the photographs you look back on are brilliant. Like, so then the 2 years later we did the same again. So this was the whole dress
ritual.
The ritual.
That is
ritual.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was class. It was like them days. You'll never forget.
we need to get photos of that.
I get photographs of this one couple in a couple of bars, and we're all like,
you're the shepherd leading the sheep there to the pub.
Yeah.
I was
the old dog here, the experience. Yeah.
I was dressed up as Little Britain, you know, and the boy was
Andy and Lou
and the wheelchair, huh? Like, there was a Smurf maybe over on this side, there was a priest over on this side. It was just a carnage, but them were the nights I really remember.
We had something similar. We won the All Ireland 17, like.
Correct, you're right.
But we never won a senior.
Yeah.
Won one intermediate ever, and we just went on this mad kind of like just crusade, like. But we decided we were going to train Christmas Eve. We were playing Kenmare in late January, so Gaffer said we're going to train Christmas Eve, so we were like, fuck it, we'll go on the bender now. So we thought, a few of us said we had a great day. We went home late that night, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So we put a group text up and said, do you want, lads, in case you're going to be late in the morning, get togged now. So we're in the bed with the shorts, the togs, the whole lot, the boots on. So rocked out of bed, straight training.
Brilliant.
Great crack.
But that's a brilliant.
Really crack. We all went down, but it was just to meet up, like.
Brilliant.
But they were great nights. The crack we had. I used to go into a local bar called Toby's. He'd love to shout out now, and they're still our local, like, Joe. But you go in like that, you see the photos, and it's the crack. Just you still talk about it, like, Joe.
I think it's the club. Like, we did it again 2 years after.
It's a brilliant, like.
John McKeever come in. I think we actually played better teams going through to the final than the first year we won it. But I always say it's, you know, to do it the first time was the best.
Have you won a senior since? No.
We won a senior year. Now, I'm talking 50, 60 years ago, okay. But we've never did it again. We're actually down junior football at the minute.
Do you know that group we had our full forward line, that 17 All Ireland, we're all 18 doing the leavings there.
Jesus Christ.
Way.
So that group then in 2022, we went on to win our first senior. So
unreal.
yeah, so we that group now that was the cohort of our team, like Joe. So went away for a couple of years after that. Ireland kind of went up and down. Then we stayed a bit consistent senior. Then we played Ballina then back in 22, our first senior final since 91, and we beat them by 3, but we were the better team. But we went on Stag then the following week when the lads was Stag, right? And but 12 of the group were going, but we were playing Mike Cullen in the Connacht quarter final. I was marking Tom Clark, right, for Mike Cullen, right? He's a Knockmore man. He's a guard. And next thing he said, "You didn't spot me in Liverpool, did you?" I said, "I seen a head come up right." He goes, "You didn't see me." The video's by 20 points. But good crack now.
But yeah, so the club's just a whole different level. Like as much of a bond you'd have winning stuff with county.
Yeah, like it's hard to sum up, like Joe, because you never think you're going to win it. Club like. Joe, like we were trooping away for years, the older lads, and it just felt like we were never going to do anything. Like, and finally, a group comes in and they give you a bit of an energy boost, and you think, "Geez, there is something here," like, you know. And
it was like, don't get me wrong, like bringing the Sam Maguire back to your club and you're around the counties and seeing grown men cry and all, and it really hits you hard. Like it's like this is what it's all about. But you don't really get out with the lads, you know, when you're playing with the county. You don't really get into the wee bar by yourself because there's that much supporters looking at you. They're looking to touch Sam Maguire. They're looking a photograph. So then like see the club when you're out. You're in the bar together.
More personal.
It's the crack. Yeah. It's the crack, and that's why I remember it so much.
I loved it. Like I still look back. We still like, and the fact that I had my brother playing as well. Like he hasn't kicked a ball since, like Joe, and he's younger than me. But like
when he went out in a high there.
Like it wasn't even the winning thing. It's like, you know, I have a photo of us running to Core Park together in our club jerseys.
It's class.
Joe, like
it's class.
the trophies, but don't get me wrong.
The two cousins, Barry Mulligan and Brian Mulligan.
That's for me. That's pinnacle stuff, like, because you can win as much as you want, but like you have your family, your close ones. There's a personal touch about it, like that you just can't replace. You know, and like we've great photos up in the home house, and it's even at my own house, and they're nice moments to look back on your career, like, you know. Yeah.
Is there a bigger pressure at club though? Almost, you know, you lads, all stars coming back. Is there there's obviously more of an expectation on you.
See, I found I was more committed with the club.
Yeah.
I mean, because I thought, not that there's more at stake, because the players probably looked up to you more. And I was like, at the time, you're probably one of the lads, but as them All Ireland runs, I kind of pulled away from that. Because Tyrone used to train in Cookstown, and Chris Lawn come in, and like Chris Lawn be one of my best friends, even though he's a manager, but I had a lot of like. I owe Chris a lot of thanks for what he did for me senior. He kept me in the right kind of path. But as Tyrone was playing or training in Musa, I would say I'm going in for a rub to Mickey, and there's still maybe half an hour left at the Cookstown, and I'd drive up in the van and finish the Cookstown training.
Come on,
you know,
really,
just to like show the lads, look, Cricko never told me to do it, but it would show the lads, right, this man's committed here. It pulled us all. I think it made us close together. It buzzed, but I wasn't the captain the first year. It was Barry Hughes, and it was such an unbelievable choice because, you know, Ginola had won all minors under 21s with Cookstown. He was a natural leader, but I was always going to be a leader. You know, I was always going to say, right, you know, and the players would listen to you. But as I said, it's just, I think you get more committed as the club and you get older as well. Oh yeah, I find it very hard to go into the club during my earlier years because, you know, when you go through a big run with your county and like it sounds awful, but the last thing you want to face is another campaign, and you have a group of lads that are training collectively together, so they know the personalities, they know the game plans, they know what they're doing. You're coming back in and all of a sudden you're expected to, you know, like, and next thing you could be shite. And they're like, what's this book here? Like, you know, he's playing with Mayo and he's Tyrone or whoever, and he's, you know, he's after winning an All-Star, but sure, he's absolutely useless. Like, do you know, but so motivation can be low, like, you know, depending on what's happened. But like that, as the years went past, then I got a savage appreciation for the work they do. And since I retired, like, I'm training with them full time. Like, Joe, I see what they do, and I appreciate what they do. And I didn't see that initially in my career because I thought, geez, here's another campaign I have to face. Now all of a sudden I go in, I think, geez, lads, fair fuck's sake, because it's hard. I think the county player gets a bit of stick all the time, you know. He gives the club nothing, he gives this, he gives that. You know, it's probably the perception out there, but you can't help it because you are playing for county. You know, you're playing there for a reason, like. it's not really fair. But
was there many from Cookstown or Westport on county panels? Which there wasn't really many.
Just myself and Kevin Kane for most stuff. My
senior, we had a few, maybe like probably most notably Stephen Conway probably would have started a right few games, but we had always good minors and under 21s coming through, a lot of the youth, but whether they probably didn't want it as much as I did. I really wanted to play for the seniors. Nothing was going to stop me, but as I said, Rim Mulgrew was another one. He come through with me, but I kind of took him by the hand and led him a merry dance a few times.
Shepherd's
Our problem is
come on to me.
Westport's a bustling town, so like nightlife is good there for a lot of lads. So they see that side of it, and then they go to college, and then they realise, fuck this, I ain't going to give my time for like we had very little representation.
Distractions.
Like James Gill would have won a National League in 01. So he would have been our first kind of guy to look up to. Bar that, we'd have no representation in Westport.
Like for the size of the town.
That's what I mean, yeah. Soccer and rugby were the foothold though for years. And because myself and Kevin came in at a time where Mayo were starting to, become big, the club then started thriving a bit more. The numbers started picking up. People became interested in Gaelic again. Soccer wasn't dominating. The soccer's huge in Westport, lads. Yeah. Massive. It's huge. Yeah, geez. They won an FAI Cup in 05, it's Junior Cup,
Right, yeah.
So they have a big mentality, but so to be fair, we had a lot of to do to get Gaelic back on track, and to be fair, the club pulled around us a bit, and then we've seen the fruits of it since. Like our underage is pretty dominant. We've won a senior title, we've won an All-Ireland intermediate, so we've done well in the time. Then we've played with Mayo, but it had to take one of the two of us to make that step and commit really big to playing Mayo, and not just committing to it, but doing well. So I think from that point of view, the club understood that.
I think it's the way you're brought up as well. My mother and father was mad in still are mad in the GAA, and we were going to Cookstown games, and I remember going into my mother used to smoke and giving me a cigarette box. I was going in and asking our club seniors for autographs. It wouldn't have been a problem. They were my heroes. Not only makes it a conveyor belt to say, right, I want to go and watch the Tyrone seniors. My mother and father never missed a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uncle Sean, God rest him, he used to take us all the time as well. So John Mulligan as well. Boys, that's the way you're brought up. It's the way your family, they're steeped in GAA history. And, they want to go to the matches, and that's why you see that when you're younger, and you want to emulate that.
You've had other clubs. Was it Fulham Irish?
Fulham Irish.
What that must have been a whole different experience. I know playing in London's different.
You didn't play with my club, mate.
I'm telling you now, playing for Fulham Irish was probably two of the best years I've had, because Cookstown had been down, as I said before, they were probably sick of my voice being captain. I was screaming at men, I was calling for men to come to training, I was calling at their doors. It was just not, our club wasn't been run the way it should be. There was a couple of managers that was in that I would call, they're not going to like it, CV builders. They were just there for the coin. Yeah. They were just there for money, and they were milking us, and they probably didn't want me there to say, look, you're going to be there 2 years and you're going to go on. So I had to go over for work, and I got a phone call to say, would I be interested in playing for Fulham Irish? And I says, right. I said, I haven't really thought about it. I was 36. I was 36 years of age, and I said, do you know what? I'm living over here now. I'll give it a go. So
the group play.
So what? The Cookstown boys are saying, I can't make it tonight, I'm going to soccer training, I'm going to play golf, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The Fulham Irish boys were travelling on a train
to get training
for an hour.
Jesus.
For half an hour at a wee pitch called the Scrubs, and then travelling back, and you weren't getting there for 10 o'clock, and there's maybe 25, 26, 27 of us going hammers and tongs at training, and it was like, this is unbelievable. And you'd Gregory McCartan, down legend, he was the manager. This is so, it just gave me a complete new lease of life. From calling at men's doors, come on up to training, from boys that want to be there, and see if you've in that environment, it's unbelievable. And it doesn't matter where you're training at. To be just in the middle of London and leaving work and commuting and then coming back, I had
Probably
a really
great buzz about it.
I was about to say, yeah, you get the
it
buzz
was
back.
some.
nearly.
I did. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with football again, and we actually won the championship, the London Championship. It was class, and the lads were unbelievable. The lads were just
We
different.
had a club mate with G actually. Tanto.
Class.
He was on our all-winner team. He goes over to
A
London.
class. Liam
Liam
Stanton.
Stanton, yeah.
Brilliant man.
Yeah.
Brilliant man. A great footballer.
We
Left foot.
were both feet. We were never as proud to see him like Joe.
He was class. He was class.
You text me actually not long.
Yes.
You know this bio here, don't you?
He's some man.
What's the standard like? Is it still
It was I think it was an intermediate standard.
okay?
But the refereeing was it was shocking, man. It was shocking, and I was only over and I thought, right, fuck me, this county man, who does he think he is? I was done I was done at fucking 32, never mind 36. And there was men frosting at the mouth to get fucking
Let's get a rattle at the blonde bombshell.
you're shaking hands with men and they were just fucking emptying you, like, and there's a couple of field fights started, but there's a fella from Kilcoo. He was kind of my bodyguard. He lumped me mention him, Roger Morgan. Anytime I was hit, Roger was always sounding like a fucking rocket. Kilcoo, man, he was fucking brilliant.
We can see mugs like this.
He was brilliant. He was brilliant. But the lads, we created some bond. It was unbelievable. We actually played Corofin.
You did, that's right, yeah.
We played Corofin.
When you win that, you get.
They went a tea, didn't they?
Yeah, they went
quarter final.
So
So what competition do you go in then?
Connacht.
To Connacht Senior.
Connacht Club, Connacht Senior Club, yeah.
So we drew fucking Corofin and we went 1-3 to 1 point up. And fucking, I swear to God, in the first 10 minutes, Marty Hughes from Kalisho.
Corofin in their pomp.
Lad,
In their pomp.
They were caught, don't get me wrong, it was the first 10 minutes, they were caught, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? But I would say about 15 minutes, they come at us like the fucking red arrows then. They're coming out everywhere. Like,
They played
yeah,
so
we're coming diagonal runs. But look, it was good. It was, as I said, it was unbelievable, an unbelievable time.
Did you ever play with London themselves?
I did,
Yeah.
I remember the jersey, yeah.
I did,
We'll have to get that jersey on you next time.
Retro. It was probably a mistake.
Really?
But you see that your problem was the buzz you had there, and you thought maybe there's the same kick from it.
I met Kieran Dealey, Wexford, in a coffee shop. He came to see me, and he sold it to me, to be fair. And I loved his training. I loved the way he organised things. I loved just his whole demeanour about himself. Great coach, but. As I said, I was done. Like, there's just no point. I felt fit, but championship football. Like,
Did you do 1 year?
1 year.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I still think you would regret not doing it.
I don't know, Lee. No, I don't.
See what they see for you at that time, it was probably hard to say no because you felt good and there's a kick to it. Like, do you know what I mean?
I felt good. I felt fit, but championship football would have been great. It was tough. Like,
He got Connacht football.
Yeah. You got a double whammy of it, the club and the county.
I tell you, it's no Ulster, but
it was tough.
Lee, for you on the other side, obviously, like, you'd play London a good bit.
Yeah.
And then you'd have New York. Them trips must be good crack. Did you do New York much?
Twice, yeah. 14 and 19. So
It must be insane going over them, Gaelic.
yeah, but they're hard games to get your head for, like, because it's a party atmosphere, like.
Right,
And,
yeah.
like, you know, but like,
It's a carnival, that is.
like,
Is it? Yeah.
like, even London, like the smell of barbecue in the ground.
It is
Is
a
it?
big marquee and all. I
Jesus.
ready for after it, yeah.
Caused us a bit aggro years ago too, don't worry. Like, Horn nearly lost job for he got it, but you don't want to say disrespectful, but they're hard games that really get your head. Like London, we got a right fright in 11. Horn's first year, there was extra time.
Did they?
They did, yeah, and they should have beaten us too. And a few of the boys that wanted to stay on, they got caught in the marquee. That 10 was, once you're in, it's a bit like a lobster pot. You're cooked, like, you know. But that caused a bit of aggro then, and there was a bit of fallout. So it's fair, we never took London for disrespect again after that. I tell you, we got a right dish, like, and the abuse we got after too. But then
You
Europe
expect to give a hiding, don't you? Like, especially
yeah, well, like, sure, big favourites. No one is really. You can never get a form book with these teams. Do you know? Now you can a bit more because London are playing the league and stuff. But New York is a funny one. I remember in 14, I was an American lad called Ross Swearity. Looked the name up. He played Donegal the year before, and he put the spooks into me a bit. I said, "Jeez, I can't be getting toasted here, like, you know." And I think I was more nervous in the York game. You know, there was a bit of ego kicking in, like, and then we were grand. Don't get we hammered them, like, but there's a bit of pressure to you're going to win, but you want to play well. You want to put on a show as well, like, you know. And
can you live a little over in New York? Because I saw even the Galway lads last few weeks, like, you'd see pictures of them.
We did. You go sightseeing, and our last year we didn't. We stayed in First Avenue away from all. Like, it actually was Mayo de Cinco Day. You know, that big Mexican celebration day. So it coincided with the Mayo Day. Lads, every fucking corner there was a Mayo person. It was like you couldn't walk. You couldn't go on the street. So they put us in First Avenue out of the way, like, so we were fine. But I know it's good. You can go sightseeing. You float around. You don't be drinking anything before. Like, a couple of lads that are injured will have a good time, like. But we stayed over 19 for 10 days after for a camp. Waste of a camp I've ever been on. Pitch was fucking like a mountain. And like it was piss rain. It was windy, and sure, like, they couldn't get the grounds. And just we played Roscommon 2 weeks after. We got a good kick in the hole then, so we did. But no, like, they're great. I think they want to be getting rid of them. I think for the community of, say, New York, for example, like they love that. Like, you have so much kids coming out, families steeped in Irish football.
Yeah.
Want to meet you.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate it with you, irrespective of the result. The game is good because it brings everyone together. But like, we like, people say it's a great holiday. It's not a holiday. You go over because you want to enjoy it for sure, but you want to respect the people that come to it and appreciate. I suppose because we were a big team then. We're playing All-Ireland finals. They want to see you do well. They want to meet the big players. They want to understand what you do and how you play and how you set up. So we had a good appreciation for that. And then, of course, you enjoy yourself after the game, and you have a couple of days in the beer, and before you know, you're back home in the flight with a 6-day hangover. But no, they're good. They're really enjoyable. The London one, we that spooked us that first year. We haven't really. We definitely got the shit creaked out of us a bit, because Horan's first year, like, the expectation was, right, this is the time now, Mayo.
Did London not do well that year, though?
They did alright, yeah. They went on to beat Sligo, Leitrim, I think, so.
They did alright, yeah.
But for us then, we appreciate the quality that London could have. And they had some damn good players for years too. Like, we played them in a Connacht final in 13. Now for you. In McHale Park.
Right.
Yeah, they beat Sligo and Leitrim that year. 13, they were in a Connacht final.
That was Lorcan Mulvey's team. Big
Mulvey, full forward.
Yeah. Dangerous.
They had some lovely players. Really did, yeah. Tony Godden at wing back from Kiltane. Now we beat them, I think it was 5-13 to 14 points, or 5-15.
Massive for them to get there, though.
Yeah.
It
was a big moment for them. We made a good old credit too, like, Joe. I tell you one thing, lads, I was black and blue after it.
Yeah.
I think Wolfie got involved one stage. Made a little thing to the ribs. It was hanging for dear life, so it was.
Yeah. Lads, another one done. Episode 2. Been a pleasure again.
Not too bad.
Retro jersey next week.
Bring the jerseys. We'll do a little jersey up there. I'll bring a
London jersey next week.
I'll bring a few Wicklow ones there. You probably haven't got your hands on any of them over the years.
You've been dressing me.
Cheers, lads.
Thank you.